it's working. One thing I just wanted to maybe do a practice video on is try to do some content just inspired by like Asmongold and Hassan, where they do, not just reacts, but like kind of current political commentary and stuff like that. Um, like, just so you guys know, I'm not like a famous streamer or YouTuber or a politician or anything like that. I'm actually a pharmacist. But I just think that I have a different perspective on these things than most people do. I've done a lot of interesting like thought experiments and read about a lot of philosophy in high school and my earlier life, stuff like that. And I feel like a lot of Americans tend to just kind of go one way or the other. They're just either kind of red or blue or in the middle. But people kind of seem to be in this box, in my opinion, and they can't wrap their head around things outside of this weird, like, modern day box that the media's told people that are the way the lives are supposed to be, that I just don't agree with and don't see. It's kind of like how Asmongold says he always, feels like everyone else is going crazy but him, and I kind of agree with him on a lot of points. But I think he almost even needs to take it a step further for certain things. Like, he has his incel tendencies, but his logic is good, but he should, I think it could even be extended further in a lot of cases. And I'm not talking about things that are like offensive or whatever, where his geek gets in trouble. But like, I was talking to my family and thinking about this the other day. So Trump just signed this executive order or whatever. The government is mandating federal workers to remove gender pronouns from their email signatures. So we have this thing called the First Amendment, and it's freedom of speech, and it's also really interesting because you think about all of the tech and like stolen election claims by Trump, and then how like censorship with big tech and all that. So I wanted to get into this little commentary, maybe debate thing if I ever get a community. Like, I understand that big tech is a private company and they're allowed to censor their content as they want because they own it, and you can do what you want with the platforms or the things that you own. But as the federal government, I think that the amendments could apply to you. So, like, I understand you have to maintain a safe workspace, and I think there's a line here that's really gray, and I don't know where we should draw it and where to cross it, like where it's okay to cross it, where it's not, where the line should be placed. But if somebody wants to put their gender in their email signature, like, that's not harming anybody. That's not, if that's offensive to somebody, like, oh well, I guess. If it's against your beliefs, oh well. Like, people force their religious beliefs down other people's throats in federal government, in politics, and things like that. So I think it's really weird because people say that, oh, this is a good thing, like, keep this out of government, but it's going against the First Amendment. This is supposed to be a free country. This is supposed to be a party of the free people. And just for full like clarification, I'm nonpartisan. I don't like red. I don't like blue. I like certain things red. I like certain things blue. So I like them both, and I will criticize them both almost equally. It just depends on the logic and stuff like that. But then, going even further on from this, I have another friend who I saw was talking on Instagram and stuff like that, and they are part of like the LGBTQ community, and they're really scared with this administration, which I understand. But they're talking about, oh, I don't even remember, honestly. I don't really remember exactly what it was, but they were talking about like, oh, they're coming after their rights and stuff like that, and like their right to marriage and whatnot is going to be gone. And like, yeah, I understand that. I support them, and they should be able to do this. It's a free country, same thing. But at the same time, I've been thinking a lot lately, like, human rights. What are human rights? Humans are not born with rights. Rights are a made-up thing in a civilized society that are given to you by governments and lawyers who write things that are made up. You want to say that humans are born with innate rights, then why aren't we going to the Amazon and contacting these uncontacted tribes and giving them rights and providing them care and all this stuff? Like, I don't know if that sounds insane, and it is, but that's just to make my point that we're born into this world with nothing owed to us. We're entitled to nothing. We do not have human rights. We're privileged to have the things that we do, and we should be grateful for them. And I don't think people really think about that and appreciate it enough and understand it enough. But you are owed nothing. You have no entitlement. Human rights aren't real. They're made up. They're whatever we want them to be. You're going to sit there and complain about them. It doesn't make sense to me. Like I said, at what point do we draw the line to where, oh, there's an uncontacted tribe in the middle of the Amazon. These people are humans. They were born. They need rights. Let's go give them rights. They don't want your rights. They don't know about your rights. If you've seen the recent stuff about them coming out on several media podcasts and whatnot, these contacted tribes, once they're tired of the people, they will just kill them. Like, humans have been giving them food on boats and stuff, and these uncontacted tribes one day will just decide, hey, I don't like you, why are you messing with our life, why are you giving us stuff, what do you want from us, and they will kill them. So, I just think that people really need to strip away all the fake stuff, like border lines and human rights and all of this made-up social constructs, and act like they're set in stone. They're really just made-up entitlement social constructs. I just feel like the fabric of modern Western civilization is almost a mental illness where people believe that this is how life is, when life is really just nature, and we are a part of nature. We talk about things being man-made, and yeah, we have labs and we synthesize things, but really we're just participating in nature. We are nature. Like, you're not in traffic, you are traffic, you're part of the problem. And until you get outside of that box and you're able to have a different perspective of being outside of that box and seeing them as the other and being able to analyze yourself as a different box rather than being in the box and picking apart these different concepts, then until you can do that, you'll never truly understand them, and you'll just be stuck living in a life complaining about all of these issues, which, like, I understand, I live in that box as well because we're forced to, and that's the way that the lives are. Like, our lives are that way now, and I understand it affects us, but I just think that, like, until you get outside of that, you're never going to be set free, is kind of the only way that I can understand that, or, like, articulate that. Like, it sounds dumb and, like, oh, like, enlightenment stuff, but I just feel like you have to be able to get this perspective, otherwise you're going to be trapped living in this box your whole life like a mouse. And you just need to be, I guess you don't need to, but I think unless you see the bigger picture, you're always going to be trapped in that box, essentially. Kind of food for thought, I guess, for my weekly random deep thoughts as a weird person. Anyways, hopefully I'm going to make more YouTube content like this, and hopefully it'll work, and I'm going to start trying to actually build my community on YouTube and Twitch and whatnot, and other social media. But I do work a lot and everything.